Hello friends, this is Smart TV Company, the Dialogue program. Today we are talking about the development of the blue economy in the Black Sea region. We are talking about the enterprises and leaders of the maritime industry in Mykolaiv region. Today in the studio we have respectful people who are involved in this topic. How does it work? What do we need to know about? Let's start with the fact that the blue economy today is one of the most modern trends in economic development. What does the blue economy mean? First of all, it is the well-known maritime economy, but with a very important emphasis on environmental responsibility. The blue economy, together with the well-known Green Deal, is shaping the European Union strategy for the coming decades. Both Ukraine as a country and Mykolaiv as the southern center of the blue economy, the traditional maritime region of Europe, should be in this trend. Therefore, we understand that for Mykolaiv and the south of Ukraine, this is an absolutely logical, historically proven and today having all the prerequisites direction of development. And taking into account the war situation, it is the direction of economic revival. And to continue with this idea, let's look at specific examples of companies that are operating, working today in the Mykolaiv region or are connected with Mykolaiv and the Mykolaiv region. Let's give the word to Olena Yuryevna, please. We consider ourselves a blue economy enterprise, actually shipbuilding, but we understand these current trends that we are players in the blue economy. Established in 2007, MDEM is the only Ukrainian company in the Dutch holding Damen Shipyards Group. Over all this time, MDEM has become a reliable partner in the implementation of innovative projects. The company's specialization is extremely broad. MDEM works in the field of design, engineering, shipbuilding and also provides complex engineering services, including calculation and research, support for the engineering standards, support for digital platforms where the holding enterprises operate, as well as intelligent digital services for online marketing and support for the holding infrastructure IT platforms in the world.
Підтримки IT-платформ і IT-інфраструктури концерну у світі.
Russian full-scale war against Ukraine has changed the work of MDEM. The company is now partially relocated. In addition to the office in Mykolaiv, there are also offices in Uzhhorod, as well as in Gdansk and Galatz. Despite this, MDEM continues to work on its projects. Our colleagues are committed to the company and we take care of their families as best as we can. It's such a difficult factor that we cannot work together. A lot of communication now is through video conferencing tools, through chats and correspondence. As a company, we have survived. We are trying to understand ourselves in a new capacity. We need to build new strategies now, how to develop our competencies, how to train, how to attract young specialists to work in our shipbuilding segment. Even during the war, MDEM proved to be good and reliable partner. The company is actively involved in the creation of innovative projects of the Damen Group. Our company has implemented dozens of successful projects, including diesel hybrid ferries, a multi-purpose offshore wind turbine supply vessel with a hydrogen engine, fuel barges, and many other interesting projects are in our portfolio now. MDEM has not changed its unbreakable position and impresses its partners with its indomitable Ukrainian spirit. We consider our company to be the best example of international cooperation, indomitable spirit and faith in Ukraine. I would like to turn the floor over to you, Yuri Danilovich, so that you can develop this idea as well. Well, Our company also operates in the international market. It works for Europe, America and Asia. The company Sijop Nikolaev has been operating on the global market for 6 years. Sijop Nikolaev is a design and engineering company in the shipbuilding industry. The company's specialists designed a wide variety of vessels for customers from all over the world. And the partnership with the Dutch company has been provided Sijop Nikolaev with global investors for all these years. We work for European customers, for American customers and for Far Eastern customers, Singapore, China, etc. We are engaged in all stages of design. We can design some ships starting from concept. These are innovative ships that will not be the first in the world, but with new qualities. Sijop Nikolaev develops basic designs using 3D modeling, as well as the construction of special digital models. Then, the specialists prepare working documentation for customers, accompany and control every stage of the ship's construction. We guarantee a reduction in time, design and construction time, good performance in operation. We need to have orders, and we fulfill them. Sijop Nikolaev creates unique projects for global customers, the quality of which is confirmed by economic and safety reliability already at the stage of ship operation. That is why the company is always interesting to foreign partners. We don't need direct investments, we only need orders. We are developing and have grown from a staff of 20 people to 76, 80 now. Despite Russia's full-scale aggression against Ukraine, foreign customers did not refuse to cooperate with Sijop Nikolaev. When this disaster came to our land and our partners, customers were concerned, we told them, stay with us, don't leave the contracts. We will complete everything on time and deliver at a level of quality, no worse than in peacetime. We have not lost a single customer. Moreover, our customers who worked with us in the early years of our establishment have returned to us. What's more, Sijop Nikolaev is open to new investors who would like to see something very innovative. The company has a lot to offer the global market. A project such as transporting pure hydrogen along the Danube across Europe from the so-called hydrogen valleys. There is already such a valley in Austria. They produce pure hydrogen from clean solar energy and then make steel, which is also green. The company supports all global trends in green and digital manufacturing. Within the framework of 4Bs, Sijop Nikolaev already has partners in Romania, Netherlands, Germany and Austria. And at the last year exhibition in Rotterdam, Sijop Nikolaev found promising customers. But despite the war in Ukraine and the shelling of Mykolaiv by Russian invaders, the company impresses the whole world with its resilience. We are unbreakable. And we are from Mykolaiv. Shipbuilders have always been brave. We work here, pay taxes, we help our Mykolaiv residents and the armed forces, as much as we can. We had no idea how to react in any other way. Such a disaster has come. We have to fight. I would like to talk about the 4Bs project first, because we submitted this application from the maritime cluster before the war. It is usually so that the projects are considered by the Commission for 6 months. And then the war broke out, and the consortium met and voted that such risks as war are force majeure. So we can refuse to partner, and that's it. And no one will judge, because there are very high risks of doing nothing at all. Because people are leaving, there will probably be no communication, no access to offices, no access to computers, and the whole project will not be possible. But all the members of the consortium, and we have Romania as the chairman of the consortium, Bulgaria, our partner from the Maritime Cluster Bulgaria, who made a recommendation that we should be invited to this project. Georgia, Turkey. These are the Black Sea countries that are involved in this project to develop the Black Sea blue economy. Well, this is in general the goal of the 4Bs project. And they voted to continue with 2 Ukrainian players, Sikorsky Polytechnic University from Kyiv and the Maritime Cluster of Ukraine. It was very nice how they searched for us in March, when communication was very bad even with Mykolaiv in March. When we were about to be captured and there were troops somewhere nearby at that time, our partners called us and said, "We want you to stay in the project. Please, get in touch. We voted to keep you in the project." So this is a powerful story that inspires and is important for promoting the blue economy. Our partners really supported us, in contrast to common sense and business risk planning. But the most positive story of 4Bs is that it has been going on for 2 years now and should end with success this June. That it has brought together the consortium companies, as well as the companies of our cluster, who have started to work more. Ukrainian Maritime Cluster was formed in 2018. Its history began with the cluster initiative that brought together shipbuilding, marine engineering and maritime service companies for their further joint development. Today, the cluster includes such maritime industry leaders as MDEM, Sijop Nikolaev, Amico Digital, Halfstream, other companies, large shipyards. But we understand the condition of the shipbuilding industry and the port infrastructure during the war. But together, we continue to move forward. Ukrainian Maritime Cluster is actively involved in building a network of international contacts, which makes it possible to attract global partners and direct investments in Ukraine's maritime industry. Advisory support for companies is also important. Cooperation of maritime cluster companies allows us to combine our strengths, our capabilities and build our plans to attract investments in innovation. Ukrainian Maritime Cluster is implementing practical ways of European integration by joining international projects. One of them is the 4Bs project, which aims to promote the values of the blue economy in the Black Sea region to form networks of enterprises that are ready to offer innovative ideas to the European market. 4Bs and the project allowed us, as cluster member companies, to unite and make efforts to strengthen each other's competencies, experience, and look for the best ways to implement innovations. For the second year in a row, the 4Bs project has been supporting small businesses in 3 areas: maritime transport, coastal tourism and aquaculture. Despite the war, Ukraine remains in the focus of European partners' attention in terms of cooperation in selected segments of 4Bs project. One of the tasks of this project was to develop cluster services. One of such services that it is considered very useful to have a brokerage events. This is format of the meeting where companies with innovative ideas meet with potential investors as well as with those ecosystem partners who could support them. There are also specific platforms, springboards for business, such as the exhibition in Rotterdam. Some companies have successfully implemented their innovative projects there. It is such a platform where we could combine theoretical events on how to conduct business consulting and see the real results of meetings. The Maritime Cluster is a co-organizer of the European Maritime Days in Ukraine, the most powerful communication platform for the maritime regions of Europe. It also participates in the development of documents on the regulation of the maritime industry in Europe together with the European Commission. First of all, we need the victory and the end of the war, so that we can open our waterways to reduce the risk for shipbuilding companies. After the full-scale Russian invasion, international companies are considering Ukraine as a special business partner in the global market now. We hope that Ukraine is seen as an interesting and reliable partner, because the project and tasks carried out during the war inspire our partners and improve our image. I would also like to add that, indeed, the Maritime Cluster has not paused its activities. Since the beginning of the war, we have been developing, let's say, a draft strategy for the recovery of shipbuilding, which has now been handed over to the government. The ball is now in their court. But at the same time, thanks to our integration in the maritime industry, the Maritime Cluster and participation in projects such as FORBIS, we are in positive contact with our colleagues in the European Commission and the European Parliament. Just a month ago, we had a big meeting in the European Parliament, where we discussed opportunities, including financing of blue economy projects and shipbuilding, within the framework of such pan-European cooperation, cross-border cooperation. We were talking about specific tools and even pilot projects where Ukraine can find its own opportunities. Yuri Danilovich, do you have anything to add? Nowadays, the times are such that you are either in the armed forces or with the armed forces, and there is no resentment for many things. Our guys are leaving our company. They are partly in the army. Women and families have left and are now working in Romania and Poland, because there are more orders there. But in order to establish shipbuilding and ensure that we work not only for the global markets, but that these technologies work here, I will give a very brief historical background. Mykolaiv was born as a shipbuilding center for the military and developed. As soon as shipbuilding stopped here, everything went to Odessa. Of course, where it is more active, but we have all the technical and production equipment and it stays there. I'm not criticizing it. When shipbuilding was resumed, the garden flourished. And these are historical examples, when our coast construction developed, when an investor appeared. Amica Digital has been known in the world for more than 20 years. Cooperation with international partners began with the development of automation and control devices and systems, small in size and easy to use, and they have proven their effectiveness. The technology we developed is electronic for safety, efficiency, quality control in shipbuilding, oil refining and other industries. First, we transferred our technology from shipbuilding, from sites of ships in the civil direction. These were oil terminals, gas terminals, grain terminals, where it is necessary to constantly measure the level of liquid immediate fuel.
носіїв, палива.
From shipbuilding, all these systems were implemented and modernized in other industries as well.
Усі атомні електростанції,
All nuclear power plants in our country are equipped,
в числі
including our control systems in spent fuel cooling shops.
охолодження відпрацьованого палива. І ми розраховуємо
We count on the expert capabilities of our equipment.
останні 5 років.
For the past 5 years, we have paid attention to the digital transition and green transition. This is how the seventh generation of our equipment appeared, Mira Plus and Bison. These are such meters of the level and parameters of storage of liquid media of petroleum products, liquefied gas.
Продуктів скрапленого газу.
Bison is a unique specialized electronic intrinsic safety device. This system is certified in accordance with European standards. It is valuable that the certification of the production was obtained during the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Ми отримали
We got the last certificate in 2022, when we were bombed, and Kharkiv, where the institute that has the right to certify to the European level. It was completely destroyed, but we managed to hold the equipment testing and finalize the documentation during all the horrors. Amica Digital is currently seeking to find customers to develop projects for the use of artificial intelligence in control and process optimization systems.
наша система у нас Mira Plus Cloud
Our Mira Plus cloud system
з нашими
is designed with our German partners to be used with cloud computing not only in Ukraine,
облачних обчислень не тільки в Україні,
but in Ukraine first of all, to restore the coastal infrastructure of the maritime sector, transshipment terminals. Despite the international cooperation, Amica Digital is proud of its developments and support for its native country. After all, victory in the war is above all for Ukrainians.
зараз важливіше бути
Now it is more important to be in the armed forces
і тут
or support the armed forces.
якось
So we are trying to do our best here.
Одною з ключових переваг міста Миколаїв
One of the key advantages of the city of Mykolaiv is its long coastline
є наявність багатовікових вже традицій
and centuries-old traditions related to the sea, shipbuilding, ship repair, and small shipping.
Тому ще до війни, нагадаю,
That is why, before the war, Mykolaiv developed the first strategic document at that time, the only strategic document of urban development, the Small-Scale Shipping Development Program, where the city had already revealed itself and began to position itself as a potential center for small shipping, development, design, building, service and everything related to this industry.
стосується цієї галузі, включаючи розбудову марин,
Including the development of marinas, yacht marines, and the service industry. And today there is a continuation because at the next session the City Council will approve the already developed Mykolaiv City Development Strategy until 2027. And part of this strategy is precisely the developments proposed by the maritime cluster. The portfolio of projects we have mentioned today is also part of the city's development strategy.
ключові інструменти розвитку блакитної економіки, які сьогодні
The Blue Economy development tools that we are currently working on with our colleagues include the revitalization of the Mykolaiv shipyard,
будівного заводу, де, на жаль, сьогодні вже неможливо
where, unfortunately, it is no longer possible to organize modern technological processes.
сучасні технологічні процеси організовувати, на жаль, але там є потенціал
But there is potential there for small shipbuilding, for engineering campaigns,
для роботи
for a technology park and for, let's say, large tonnage shipbuilding.
Другий інструмент це
The second tool is the industrial park,
якраз і сфокусований для того, щоб
which is focused on attracting companies
з
We have just mentioned our colleagues from SEO Europe, and we have had quite fruitful conversations with equipment manufacturers, including those from Denmark and Norway, who have a potential interest in coming to sites in Mykolaiv and continuing to work here with a certain localization. That is why we have to prepare the industrial park instrument and be ready for the fact that as soon as, let's say, the combat risks become less, we will be able to invite and enable businesses to return and new ones to come here. But this is all, let's say, homework. It has to be worked out in advance. We have to do this now, and that is why we are doing it. The third component, which we have also mentioned, is the urban waterfront, which is actually the key city embankment, which has already been named Mykolaiv Water Port, on the initiative of the residents of Mykolaiv. And this is about a complete infrastructure for both large and small vessels, yachts for their berthing, storage, maintenance, coastal recreation in the very center of Mykolaiv, and the formation of a space that will continue to be a seat of maritime education for young people. This is the Young Sailors Club, the Olympic Reserve Sailing School, the Atlant School, and all the places where future ships, sailors and captains take their first steps. That is where the DNA of the seaport city of Mykolaiv, a city that we are confident will be the heart of the blue economy in Ukraine, where it begins itself. Well, colleagues, that's a pretty optimistic end to today's conversation. I'm grateful to you for this conversation, grateful for your answers, grateful for your optimism and for such a fighting attitude to war. I think that today's conversation will be extremely interesting for the patriots of Mykolaiv, for people who think about the future of Mykolaiv, how it will develop and where it should move on. So thank you for your answers, thank you for the conversation. Together to victory.